Hey, my beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel, Supreme Medium Diviner. Today, we're going to be discussing the legendary gospel singer Marvin Sapp. He has caused a frenzy online with non churchgoers. He has a viral video demanding money from the pulpit. If you have been under a rock and have not heard about this, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys my 2 cents on this situation. Before we get started, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Hit the bell so you can be notified. If you feel compelled, go ahead and like, comment, and share this video. Please beware of scammers. I do not have WhatsApp. I don't reach out to anyone. You do have to go to my website to book. The link to my website is in my bio. All right. Let me just give you a little snippet of what's going on. So Marvin Sapp was in the pulpit, and I guess it was the end of the service, but he wanted to take an additional offering. So he has asked people to give an offering. But here's the thing that got people kind of like, is you cool? He is very stern with the ushers and telling them to close the doors of the church. He's saying that y'all ain't going nowhere but to the restaurant. Give me your time. Close the doors. Close the doors, right? He's getting very agitated and they close the doors. Then he proceeds to say to everybody that's streaming, to everybody in the congregation, which equals to about 2,000 people, you need to give an offering of $20. I would like to get $40,000 today. Then he proceeds to say, but for the people in the pulpit, that's not for you. You need to give $100. Now, you can only see the people in the pulpit and they're still sitting there, and you see people behind him in the pulpit opening up their wallets, looking like they're pulling out big faces, right? So they're in agreement with this, okay? So everybody's like, how can you demand this? And then why are you keeping people hostage in the church? So let me just give you my take on this, okay? If those of you who do not know, I once was a Christian. I once was baptized. I've always had my gift, but I have not always practiced my gift. I was brought into the church by my parents, but I still was around my family because my gift is hereditary and it was still being talked about. But I myself had to go through everything to retrieve my soul back and to get in my gift. So that's how I am where I am because of what I did and what I can do. So, with that being said, I know about the church. I know church protocol. Yes, you do close the doors of the church. But if you want to go in and out, you can. It just depends on how strict the ushers are. But I've never seen a pastor just be so demanding the way that he was, right? So, here's the thing though. First of all, why do you need $40,000? It says that he has a net worth of 4 million, right? So he has responded to everyone's questions. His response was, he was quoting from the Bible. They gave gold and silver. And if you want his guidance, you have to show your dedication, basically, is what he's saying. So you have to give this money to just show how dedicated you are, how serious you are to receiving his guidance and receiving the word. Okay. And even though Marvin Sapp is online saying this, a lot of pastors feel this way. We know what happens in the church, and this has deterred a lot of people from the church, other than, having spiritual awakenings, right? So let me just tell you what I think about this. All right. So think of it this way. I'm going to use myself as an example for what I do. I help people, right? And I do charge to help. But everything that I use, my home office, my tools, my divination, if I want to use divination tools, um, my time, all of anything that I need, my supplies that I write, things that I write, anything that I need to assist a client, I purchase myself, right? That's all on me. You do your part when you pay for the service. I don't need anything else from you as we continue. So I'm guiding you, right? I'm teaching you, right? Why I don't need to ask you for more money. You've already paid. Now, with the church, when you go to the church, it's for the community. So it's not like a business, but they're treating it like a business, right? So if you want to open up a church for the community, the person who opened up the church, you should be responsible for the building. If you can't solely be responsible for the building, sit your ass down. Now, would it be nice for people in the community to help you, to give you donations? Of course, but nobody is obligated. You wanted this church. You, the pastor, wanted this church. You, the pastor, wanted a place for people to come so they can hear you talk. You, the pastor, wanted a place so people could come so they could listen to you. You, the pastor, wanted a place so people could come so they can receive your guidance. Why are they paying for your place? And then it's not a one-on-one. So you don't need to take no money from nobody. You're not offering a service. You as the pastor decided, I want to preach to people. So you need to get off your ass, find a building, tell people where to come and to preach. They didn't ask you to do that. So they don't got to pay you nothing. So Marvin Sapp is totally in the wrong, as well as the other pastors. Fuck the building fund. Y'all been having a building fund since you've been building the church and it's finished. Really? Stop it. Stop it right now. So, another thing, another thing. You find the most witches, warlocks in the church. They love the church. And nothing in life is free. I told you guys that. Nothing is free. Even spiritual things, nothing is free. So, the church does not talk about ancestral worship. Although if you watch my live on Sunday, I told you that the Christian church believes in purgatory, but that's another video. They don't openly say anything about ancestral worship. But taking money to feed or give to whoever they're getting their knowledge from, that's what they're doing. So they're taking your money to pay their deity. Somebody that is not serving you the way that they're serving the pastor. It's a separation. You don't get the same perks as a pastor. Why do you think that is? Because y'all ain't serving the same way or the same thing. You understand what I'm saying? You know how they say, we've been called to preach, I've been called to preach. Yeah, they've been called to preach. That's their calling. You ain't been called to listen. You chose to do that. They were called to preach, not you. So the deity that the pastor serves is not the same for you. So again, you don't get the benefits. So your money, they're using your money to pay whoever. They ain't even using their own money like they supposed to. That's one way, one thing that's crooked. And the whole time, let's talk about this soul, giving your soul to Jesus. A lot of y'all want to know, can you get it back? You can get it back. You can get it back. See, the pastor teaches you how to give it away. They work for Jesus. They're his workers. They teach you how to give it away. If you're going through something, they quote Bible scriptures. They never really can give you like one-on-one advice. It's like generalized. Like me, I do intuitive readings. I give advice specifically to you, specifically to what your spirit needs you to know. See, now that you have given your soul away, or even for the ones who haven't given their soul away, haven't been baptized, you're just coming to church. They're not looking at you as a one person. They're looking at you as a whole. They're treating you as the same. Almost that thing, one sin is no bigger than the other, meaning that sin is sin. Same thing as they're thinking about everybody, is everybody's alike. If you're a non-Christian, you need to be saved. And if you're saved, you're going through the same things. They generalized their message. So you're losing out then. You're not even getting a personal message when you come to the church. Okay? On top of the ones who have been baptized, and you never know that you can get your soul back, and now you're in the astral lost in the dark. Don't know anything. So you paid money, you made the pastor rich, you helped Jesus, their deity, and you're the one that's in the dark. Now, pastors, what happens to them when they die? Because obviously they have to be baptized and ordained. After all that work that they've done, just to find out you gonna be in the dark too. Yeah, on the physical, you reap the benefits. Ain't nothing waiting for you in the astral. They don't need you no more. They don't need you no more. Because in the astral, you don't need religion. Your work is done. Good job, my faithful servant. So, what does that tell you? Pastors are ego driven, they live in the flesh. They go to school for this, and they're taught the Bible. They're taught in a educated standpoint, not in an emotional standpoint, a logical standpoint. That's how they're taught. That's how that is viewed, right? But they don't teach it that way. There's a lot of books they don't talk about in the church. Revelations. They might get a scripture here and there. What pastor have you known to break down Revelations? Why would they do that? Because once they break down Revelations, ain't nobody gonna be in their church no more. Ain't nobody gonna be in their church no more. So let's take it back. Let's take it way back. What's that movie? Oh my God. Y'all, what is that movie? The guy that was a slave and he wanted to be a pastor. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. He played in The Great Debaters. I cannot think of his name to save my life, but I see his face. Nate Parker. Nate Parker. Nat Turner, I think that's what it is. Give me a second. Just bear with me. Bear with me. I'm going somewhere with this. Birth of a Nation. And it was depicting the story of, what was his name? I can't remember the name, but if somebody knows it, put it in here. Um, he was a Baptist preacher, Nat Turner, Nat Turner in Virginia. If you have not watched that movie, watch that movie, Birth of a Nation. He was a Baptist preacher. They trained him. His owner trained him because they saw that he had influence. So they trained him in what to say, trained him in what to do, trained him in how to act. They do the same thing now. That's been like followed down, just, enhanced. And what happened with him is he started having a spiritual awakening. The Bible verses he was telling everybody, he's seen them a lot different. So he was like, I gotta help my people. I mean, we gotta fight. So that's where you got the rebellion from. So he had a spiritual awakening. So he followed his spiritual awakening. He didn't stay with it, right? So because he followed his spiritual awakening and he did his assignment, he no longer was under the spell of the ritual of being baptized and being a preacher. So when you have a preacher and they do not do that, even though they know that they should, they're subject to just like anybody else who did not retrieve their soul before they die. But what did that mean for Nat in that movie? He was held to high regard by the other slaves. But when he stopped doing that, what did that mean for him? He got in the trenches with everybody else. He put the ego aside. Pastors ain't willing to do that. They're not willing to get in the trenches. Because when you really have to help, you got to get in the trenches. That's why I don't believe exorcisms, because if you are not willing to go where that spirit is, don't talk to me. When I do my work, I get in the trenches. I'm going spirit to spirit. I'm going where you are, whether you dead or alive, because I can. It's been given. That gift's been given to me. So Marvin Sapp, along with the other pastors, your day is coming. Y'all are dwindling out more and more. So he was wrong. The church is wrong. And to answer y'all's questions, you can retrieve your soul. Okay? If you need help with that, this is something that you can do on your own. But sometimes people have some blockages that stop them from moving forward spiritually. And that's where I come in. So by you leaving the church, by you starting ancestral worship, we're gonna name them off. What to do to retrieve your soul? Leave the church. Stop worshiping Jesus. That means don't pray to him. Don't read his Bible verses. Don't anything that's related to Jesus that you were doing, stop it immediately. Start doing ancestral worship. What will this do? This allows your ancestors, they're in you, but this allows them to work. And as they're working with your spirit. They've reached your soul. Okay? Jesus no longer has possession of it because you let your ancestors in. Okay? They control everything for you in the astral. Remember when I told you they control if you go to purgatory, right? Your ancestors got you. Your spirit team got you. So it's very important you don't ever skip this step. You're not going to get nowhere else if this step is not done. Step number 3. Once step number 3 is done and you've built a relationship, then you're going to move on to any deities, other people in your spiritual team that are going to come forward, demons, angels, anybody that you're going to have to work with. They're going to come forward. That's the 4th thing. Now, within all this, you should be doing your work. You should be doing your assignment. At Ancestral Worship, when this starts, this is when you should start finding out your calling if you don't already know. Rely on your intuition, strengthen that, and do research. The best thing that you can do when coming out of church is research Christianity, research religion. If you know where it came from, then you understand why it's not real. Okay? There's a whole time frame that they take out the Bible, and that's referring to ancient Egypt. They take that time frame out, but they have references to cities in ancient Egypt in the Bible, but you don't know that because you never studied it. So you don't know that's the city that they're talking about. The sun god Ra is mentioned in the Bible, but you don't know that's who they're talking about because you don't know about ancient Egypt. They hated Ra. They wanted Ra destroyed. That's your number one indicator that religion was created for people that look like me, that look like us, to control us. They hated us. They mentioned that in the Old Testament. But if you don't know things, you don't know what that means. It literally says they despised us. They wanted Ra put down. They despised us. So if you need my assistance, and we're going to do more on this. I just wanted to do this video today. You know, we got the live. The next live is coming next Sunday. And it's going to be talking about the spirit this time. We're going to dive into what happens to the spirit when you die. And then we'll get the next topic after that one. But I feel like, you know, we need to take care of the soul first so y'all can understand the difference. So when we get to the spirit, it's a lot of information on the spirit. So that's probably going to be about a 2-hour live because it's a lot that I got to like talk about. So just come prepared and be ready for that live next Sunday. Okay. So, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you got any questions, put it in the comments. Y'all know I love your questions, your remarks. Like I said, please share this if you feel compelled, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.